Melania Trump could be deported under new rules? Joy Reid warns she's out of here under deporting, denaturalizing citizens policy. Amid intensified immigration enforcement and the Donald Trump administration's attempt to revoke the citizenship of naturalized Americans, a petition has gone viral demanding that U.S. First Lady Melania Trump, her son Barron Trump, and her parents must be deported. The criticism is focused on Melania Trump's use of the EB-1 visa, which is also nicknamed the Einstein visa, typically reserved for individuals with extraordinary abilities in fields like science, arts, or business. American commentator and host Joy Reid said if President Donald Trump is serious about denaturalizing and deporting citizens, he should worry about the precedent he would set. Cautioning Trump about the potential ramifications of denaturalizing and deporting citizens, he gave the message, "Your policy could later be used against your family members." Touring an immigrant prison this week in the Florida Everglades that conservatives have dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, Trump said he's open to deporting citizens. "They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here, too, if you want to know the truth. So maybe that will be the next job." Joy Reid on Melania Trump deportation. In an interview, Rep. Pramila Jayapal on The Joy Reid Show, Reid said Trump should be careful what he wishes for. If you give the President of the United States monarchical-like powers to say, "I don't like your views, I don't like your take on issues, I don't think you're too liberal, you're not conservative enough, I'm just going to take away your naturalized citizenship," well, if we ever get a Democratic president, they could say, "I don't like Melania Trump. She wasn't born here. She was born in Slovenia. She is a naturalized citizen. She's out of here." And by the way, Ivana Trump, the late Ivana Trump, who's buried in the golf course in New Jersey in Donald Trump's golf club, she wasn't an American citizen. And 3 of her children are Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka. And maybe the next Democratic president says, "You know what? I don't like the Trumps. And so we're going to denaturalize all of the Trump children whose mother was a foreigner at the time." Reid also mentioned State Secretary Marco Rubio, whose Cuban-born grandfather was ordered to be deported in the 1960s after entering the U.S. without a valid visa, but who did not leave as ordered, existing in legal limbo until eventually securing refugee status. It also comes after Trump threatened the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York, Zohan Mamdani, with arrest and deportation, baselessly alleging that Mamdani, who has lived in the U.S. since the age of 7 and who became a naturalized citizen in 2018, was in the country illegally. Many Republicans and close aide of Trump have called for the deportation of Zohan Mamdani. Petition seeks deportation of Melania Trump. Americans have started a petition asking the government to deport Melania Trump, her parents, and Barron Trump amid President Donald Trump's deportation efforts. The Move On petition is titled "Deport Melania, Melania's Parents, and Barron in the First Round of Deportations." Since Trump wants to deport naturalized citizens, I believe it is only fair that Melania and her parents are on the first boat out. In addition, Melania's anchor baby Barron should be forced to leave as well, because we know that his mother's mother was born in a different country. That is part of the criteria that Trump is putting into place. Your mother's mother must have been born in the United States. And we know Melania's mother was born elsewhere. If it's good for one, it's good for all. There should be no exceptions on the first boat or flight out. It is important that this is done to show that it is not a matter of favoritism. If this is truly about national security, then Melania needs to go. Earlier this year, Congresswoman Maxine Waters called for the deportation of Melania, saying Trump should first look at Melania's records. "We don't know whether or not her parents were documented, and maybe we better just take a look," Waters said at a rally in Los Angeles. If he wants to start looking so closely to find those who were born here and their parents were undocumented, maybe he ought to first look at Melania.
Melania must be deported too. Viral petition challenges Trump's immigration double standards. As President Donald Trump administration continues to double down on immigration enforcement, a new wave of public outcry is gaining steam, not just from policy critics, but from citizens calling for action against those closest to the president himself. A viral petition hosted on moveon.org, a progressive advocacy platform, is demanding the deportation of First Lady Melania Trump, her parents, and even her teenage son, Barron Trump. The petition argues that Trump's aggressive policies toward immigrants, especially naturalized citizens, should also apply to his own family, emphasizing the need to avoid political favoritism and double standards. The petition, "No exceptions, Melania must go." The petition gained rapid traction as backlash mounted against reports that President Trump was pursuing avenues to revoke citizenship from certain naturalized immigrants. Citing perceived hypocrisy, the petition's creator argued that Melania Trump, a naturalized U.S. citizen originally from the former Yugoslavia, should be held to the same standards as others facing the threat of deportation. It bluntly states, "If Trump wants to deport naturalized citizens, I believe it is only fair that Melania and her parents are on the first boat out." The petition's author also referenced Melania's son, Barron, labeling him an anchor baby, a controversial term used to describe children born in the U.S. to non-citizen parents. The argument points to newly proposed criteria under Trump's policies, which consider a person's maternal lineage in determining eligibility for citizenship. The petition reads, "Your mother's mother has to have been born in the United States, and we know Melania's mother was born elsewhere. If it's good for one, it's good for all." Public outcry over double standards. One of the petition's central claims is that enforcing these immigration policies against the president's own family would help prevent the appearance of favoritism. If this is truly about national security, then Melania needs to go, the petition states. These remarks tap into a broader frustration shared by many Americans who see the administration's deportation agenda as unfairly targeting minorities and vulnerable communities while sparing high-profile individuals with political connections. The campaign is emblematic of rising tensions between Trump's tough-on-immigration platform and the personal histories of some of the members of his inner circle. Critics argue that the policies disproportionately affect working-class immigrants, while wealthy white immigrants, like Melania and her family, go untouched. Addressing a crowd opposing Trump's attempts to reinterpret birthright citizenship, Waters provocatively suggested that the First Lady's immigration status should be scrutinized under the same lens Trump applies to others. When he talks about birthright, maybe he ought to first look at Melania, Waters said from the stage, a moment captured in multiple social media videos. She added, "We don't know whether or not her parents were documented. Maybe we better just take a look." The crowd erupted in cheers, signaling support for the pointed criticism. Waters' comments echo the sentiment behind the petition and served as a direct political challenge to Trump's executive order targeting the 14th Amendment. The order, signed on Trump's first day back in office, is currently under judicial review and aims to deny citizenship to U.S.-born children of undocumented immigrants or those with temporary legal status. Melania's immigration timeline under scrutiny. Melania Trump, born in Slovenia, then part of Yugoslavia, immigrated to the U.S. in the 1990s and became a U.S. citizen in 2006. She is the second First Lady to be born outside the U.S., following Louisa Adams, wife of John Quincy Adams. According to a 2018 report, Melania sponsored her parents, Victor and Amalia Knovs, for green cards and later citizenship through a process critics often deride as chain migration, a term Trump himself has condemned. Amalia Knovs passed away in 2024, but Victor has recently appeared publicly with the Trump family.
political fallout and media response. Conservative commentators quickly responded to Waters' remarks and the Move On petition. Right-leaning media personalities labeled the petition as an absurd political stunt. A popular X, formerly Twitter, account, End Wokeness, posted Maxine Waters wants to deport Melania, stoking outrage among Trump supporters. However, supporters of the petition argue that the point is not to seriously deport Melania, Barron, or her father, but rather to expose the hypocrisy embedded in Trump's immigration policies. For them, the campaign is symbolic, a mirror held up to Trump's America First doctrine, reflecting its inconsistencies and selective enforcement. A symbol of the debate to come. Whether or not the petition leads to any actionable policy, which is extremely unlikely, it has undeniably succeeded in reigniting national discourse around naturalization, birthright citizenship, and the ethical implications of immigration reform. As the 2025 election cycle heats up and Trump's second administration embarks on its controversial immigration agenda, the personal and political are once again colliding in spectacular and polarizing fashion. In the end, the question remains, should the president's own family be exempt from the rules he champions, or should they serve as examples of them? The growing support behind the petition suggests many Americans are no longer willing to accept exceptions at the top. While the petition may be symbolic, it has reignited national debate on fairness, favoritism, and the limits of presidential power in immigration policy. The message is clear. If no one is above the law, that should include the president's own family. That is all for today. In this video, what are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Melania Trump could be deported under new rules. Joy Reid warned she is out of here. Under deporting denaturalizing citizens policy. A viral petition demanding the deportation of First Lady Melania Trump, her son Barron, and her parents has ignited national debate over President Trump's aggressive immigration agenda. Critics argue that Melania's use of the EB-1 Einstein visa and her parents' naturalization through chain migration reflects the same process Trump seeks to eliminate. Public figures like Joy Reid and Representative Maxine Waters warn that Trump's denaturalization efforts could backfire, potentially targeting his own family. The video highlights double standards and calls for equal enforcement, aiming to expose hypocrisy in Trump's policies rather than pursue actual deportation. The issue remains politically explosive.